Alright, so welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we're trying to explore Streamlit Multi-Page, right? So this is a very nice feature that has been released by Streamlit. So this is available on only Streamlit version 1.0 and upwards, right? So by the end of this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we'll be learning how to set up multiple pages or multi-pages in Streamlit using the Streamlit default option. We'll be trying to see how to order your pages and how to pass variables among your pages, and then some other stuff, right? So that is something very simple. You can also check out other tutorials by One to Coder, Avra, Data Professor, and the rest. So let's see how to set up Streamlit pages from scratch. The requirement is that you must have version 1.10 and upwards, right? Okay, so let's go back and see the workflow. So the basic requirement, as I said, is that you need this particular requirement. So let me make it bigger so that you can see it well. So in order for you to work with the Streamlit multi-pages, that is the workflow. You must have your main app, right? So app.py. So this is the main app that you'll be running, right? So this is what you'll be calling your Streamlit run on, right? That is the first one. Then the other requirement for your multi-pages is that you're just going to have a folder called pages, right? So in Flask and then in Express, anytime you are creating templates, right, they call it templating, you use a folder called templates or a folder called views in Express.js. But with Streamlit, the name of the folder must be called pages, right? It is very, very important. You must call this one pages. Then you can put in any of your Python files, right? So any amount of Python files you put inside these pages will be converted to a multi-page, even if you don't put Streamlit inside that file, right? So that is how to do that. That is the basic understanding. So the first requirement, you must have your main app. That is the one you'll be running with Streamlit run app.py, and is this particular one. Then you must have a folder or a directory called pages, right? You must name it pages, not capital pages, pages. Then within these pages, you put in all your other Streamlit apps, right, or your smaller Python files. So you can have something like home.py, eda.py, and about. So how do you order it? So we'll be trying to see how to order it. So let's move on and see it out from scratch. So if I go back to the app now, you can see that there's the app we have built. If I click on this one, we have the app, which is the pages, right, on the sidebar. You can see that we have this one. I can close it up like this. This is a very nice feature out of the box, right? I have my app, that is the main app. I have my EDA. If I click on the EDA, you can see it from here that that's changed to EDA. You have the about, and then you can see from the URL that has changed to about, and the page is changing. The home, it is changing, right? Very nice. And even with the home, like, you can also see that the old ones also work, right? The old format of creating pages also work. If I come back to the app, you see that this was the old one with the sidebar. I can also change, right? It's going to change here. So that one also still works. It has not been duplicated, right? That is the power of Streamlit. It is still there. So let's see how to build this one from scratch. So I'm just going to close this one, and then one nice thing, we have the tables. So I'm just going to close this one here, and then we start from scratch. I'll come back again to my location. I'm going to create a directory. So let's call this one as my multi. So st multi. I can give it any name. So let's go to multi app, right? Multi-page app, and I'll move into my st multi-page app like that. So if I come back here, there's nothing there. So as I said, the first requirement is that you need your main file. It's going to be touch app.py. It's going to be the file that you are running. This is where there's a main file, right? This particular file. That's what we run with Streamlit run app.py. Perfect. And then we need your multiple pages directory, which is the pages. It must be named pages. So I go back again. I'm going to create that particular directory. I'm going to call that pages. Perfect. So I check out it. We have my app, which is what I run with Streamlit. You have my pages folder, right? So within this pages folder, I'm going to create some files. So let's open the entire stuff. So I'm going to open it. In case you don't have Streamlit, you can just install it with this and upgrade it, right? So upgrade Streamlit to the newest version in order to be able to see this particular feature. So let's open it with Sublime, and then we start writing some code. Okay, so I come back again, and then let's put in our simple basic stuff here, right? So as we always do, I'm going to import Streamlit as st, right? As we always do. Perfect. Then you know that I prefer this particular option here. So this is going to be my sub header. Let's go just what this is going to be my main page, right? Something like that, right? Then as we always do, I can just put in something like st.title, say Streamlit Multi-Page, right? So let's make it this way. I prefer this approach because you know that we have been using this particular approach. I'm going to close it with if main. This is going to be our main app, the one that we always run, right, with Streamlit. Then I'll go into my pages folder, right? Then I'm going to create another folder within another file within my pages, right? It's very important. Then I can give it any name. So if I give it the name like home.py, now that is going to be my home page, right? So I can just go back straight away, and then without putting anything, if I come back again and let's run our app. So I'm going to go back here, same thing, let's check it out. So we have my main app, that is what I run with Streamlit. My pages, I have my home folder, which is what I'll be running. So let's run it again. So Streamlit run app.py. I'm running the main app. I'm running Streamlit for the app itself, right? Not for the pages. So the image I'm pointing Streamlit to this, but Streamlit will run this, and then it's going to pick this pages directory and also show whatever is within this particular pages directory as a sidebar or as a menu, right? Or a different page with a different URL, right? Perfect. So let's run it again. This opening on my browser. Yep, it's running. So taking some time for it to run. Perfect. So it's going to run on this local port. So I'll copy this local port and I'll go back again here to my browser, paste it, and then we can run it, right? So by default, the moment I run that, we can see that Streamlit is going to run, as you are seeing, right? Perfect. So Streamlit multi-page, right, and multi-page, and by default, right, because of that particular structure that we have here, this structure of the app and then the pages and then some files within it, which is the Python file, it automatically detects and then create a multi-page or a menu for you, right? So if I click on this, the URL here has changed to home, right? So the name home is coming from the name of the file, which is this particular name here. Very important, right? So in case you want to give it a new name, a different name, you have to change the name of the file, right? It is picking intelligently from the name of the file, which is going to be the same name used for the URL here. Perfect. So let's go back again, and you can see that I have not placed any code here. There is no code here, right? But Streamlit automatically identify that is also a multi-page, right? This is another page. Then let's put in some Streamlit stuff. So import Streamlit as st here again, right? And I can just put in, let's say, st.subheader. Let's go there to say home page, right? If I save this one and I come back to the app, right? Once I save it and I come back to the app itself, it's identifying the changes. And then if I come back again, let's go with always run. We are going to see the home page there, right? So the home page is found here. So this is the next page. So if I click on it, it's going to come to the home page, and you can see that it has changed here. If I go back to the app, it's going to return back to the main page, right? So let's add some more folders there, or more pages. So I'll go back again to my pages folder. Let's put about.py. I'm going to put it inside my pages, save it. Let's create another one for, let's say, eda.py. Then I'm going to put it inside the same place, the same place that I have, right? eda.py, inside my pages folder. Perfect. And automatically, you see that these things have come. So we have the about, eda, and home. Very nice, right? In the eda, there's nothing there because I've not put any Streamlit command. The about, there is nothing there, right? Very, very cool. That is some very cool stuff we have, right, with Streamlit. Very nice. Even if I come back and I do say, let's say st.say header hello, right? Because I've not imported, if I go back again to the EDA, it's not showing. So I have to import Streamlit for all the things within the other page, which is actually the same way in case you are doing blueprint with Flask, right? So it's going to be something like this. So import Streamlit as st. Perfect. So that is how to work with Streamlit multi-page. So the requirement is that number one, you must have your main app, right, which is the app.py, and this is what you're going to point your Streamlit run to. You must have a pages folder, and you must name this as pages. Then within this pages folder, you're going to put in all your Python files, right? Very nice. But how do you change the ordering? How do you change the ordering? Because by default, it picks the name. Let's go back again. It picks the name of the file, right? So it picks the name of this particular file. I don't know whether I can see it. So if I change the name from EDA to, let's say, let's change the name from EDA to EDA page, it's going to pick the EDA page as the name of here, right? EDA page, as you can see, and it's going to be the same thing here that is going to be shown here in the URL, right? Very, very simple. Okay, so how do you order it? How do you order it to make it nicer? So to make sure that you're ordering it, you can just go with this option by putting numbers in front of it. So this is how to order it. So if I come back here and I'm going to rename this one to 01, right? The moment I put a number there, it's automatically going to sort it out, right? 01 dash, it's going to omit the dash, then 02, so 03. For the about, the EDA, let's make the EDA 02. So 02 dash. As you can see, the naming is very, very important. So in case you want to order it, you just put 0 there. And once I do that, see that the home is number 1, EDA is number 2, and then about is number 3, right? It's not going to show the numbers. It's going to order it using the numbers. That is the intelligent stuff around it, right? So in case you want to order it, you just have to put a number in front of it, right? 01, 02, 03, just like that. Perfect. And then let's change this name, because the naming is not nice. Page. Yeah. Now if I come back, you have it as EDA. In case you also want to make it capital, right, you just have to name it as capital. So I can just go back to the home. Let's change it from this to capital, right? If I make it capital or uppercase, you can see I'm automatically going to make it uppercase, right? So it is very, very intelligent, and it's picking per the name, right? You see that the URL also changes here. Very cool. Okay, so that is how to work with Streamlit multi-pages. Now let's see the next thing we have to do. How do you pass variables from one page to the other page, right? In case you want to pass variables, how do you do that? So I'm going to go back to my main app, which is the app.py. I'm going to create a variable. So let's call this particular variable as, let's say, name, or let's call it as my variable, something like that, right? Then this is my variable. I'm going to call it as, say, something like, say, from main app page, right? So this is from main app page, which is from the main app, this particular app.py file. So main app.py page, right? This is my variable. I want to share it with all the other pages. So one of the ways is to use session state. The other way is to just to import it, right? So this is my variable. In case I want to see this, my variable, which is from my home page, let me show you inside this my home page. So I'll come back here inside my main function, st.write. Let's go to my variable. I save it and I come back here. I'm going to set my variable here, right? So main from main app.py page. This is from main app.py page. If I want to see it inside my home page, or inside my EDA, or inside my about page, how do I do that? So simply put, let's put it inside the home page. I'm going to put this from my main page, this is my variable, into my home page, right? So let's see it. So simply just go back again to this place. It's about sharing variables among pages. This is the other method apart from session state. So this is very basic. It's going to be from, right, app import my variable. So this app here refers to this particular app.py file, and then my variable is coming from here, this particular my variable here, right? So if I save it, I come back here and I save it here, my variable, and now I can just go with st.write my variable. So if I go back to the home page, so this is the home page, you can see that it's going to show here. So from main app.py page, right? So that is how to share your variables among pages just by importing. That is one of the ways. You can also use session state, which we'll talk about it later, right? So the caveat is to share variables among pages. Just go with from app, import my variable, right? You just import it from the main app. In case, let's say I have a variable in my EDA, let's say I do some calculation, I do some simple calculation, I want to import it from here to the other side. So let's say I'll create some calculation. So let's go to my calculation, right? Inside from my EDA, let's say this is from EDA.py page, right? This is from EDA, which is within my pages. I want to import it into, let's say, home page, right? I want to import it into home page. Here, I can just come back again and go with this. So from, right, app, in case I want to, from pages dot my EDA, import my calc. So that is how to do sharing within pages, right? So sharing variables among pages. So the first one is from the main app. The second one is I want to import it from pages.eda, that is this particular place, which is here, right? Then I want to import it inside my home page. So if I come back here and I go back, say st dot, let's say title, right? And go with my calc. I save it and I come back here to my home page. So it's giving us this particular error. The reason it's giving us this error is that, so from pages.eda, the reason it's giving this error is because of the naming, right? But that is a way. So in case I want to actually import it, so I have to name it well. So it's going to be 02 EDA, right? So yeah, this is not the best way of importing. That's why it's giving us this particular error. So in case I want to do that, I can just go back and change the name. So let's change the name to this EDA, right? And now if I change it and I go back here, you get it right. You can't just import from numbers. Yeah. So if I do this, so from pages.eda, which is referring to this particular file, in case you want to import variables, you must make sure that you're not putting these numbers there. EDA, then if I go back, now it's working. This is from EDA page, but this is the home page. Yeah, this is the home page, and I'm importing from the home page something from the EDA page, and I'm importing into the home page something from the main page. Very nice. And that's how one of the ways of sharing variables, just by importing it around, right? Very simple. So to recap, to create or work with Streamlit multi-pages, what you need is you need your app.py file, the one you'll be pointing Streamlit at. You need your pages folder, it must be named pages, and then you can put in any Python file. And in case you want to show the Streamlit stuff, you just import your Streamlit stuff within them. In case you want to order it well, you just have to go with 01 to order it perfectly, right? Or you don't order it, you just go straight away with the name. And the name of the file will be the name that will be shown here. Very nice. So apart from that, the same thing that we were doing previously with the sidebar also works. So if I go back to my app.py file, or let's say I go back to my home page here, I want to still do some simple stuff as we did earlier on, it's still going to work, right? Or if I go back to the main page, I want to do the same thing that we used to do. So let's go to my submenu, right? And I go with, let's say, sidebar, just select boss, right? And I put in something. So let's go to say submenu, and this is going to be, let's say, pandas, something like that, TensorFlow, something like that. If I go with this option here, so if submenu is go to the pandas, I want to do st.subheader, say pandas. So let's change it from submenu to choice as we always do. Yeah, so that you know that all the other things we used to do are still possible, right? If I go back here, if I go to the app.py file, you are going to see we have my submenu there, and automatically you are going to have this very nice stuff. You can click on it and then unfold it, right? Hide it to make it small, which is very cool, right? Out of the box. So the submenu is still working. That sidebar that we're using, we can still use all of those things and it still works, right? All of those things still works. But if you want to use the multi-pages, it's also going to work, right? So that is the basic overview of it. So thank you for watching. See you in the next session. Stay blessed. Bye. But before you go, that is a very, let's give a very wonderful shout out to Streamlit, because they have done a very great work for the multi-pages. It has been an awaited feature, right? If I go back to discuss of Streamlit, you can see that has been something that people have been asking about, right? There have been other external packages that has been around trying to do the same multi-page, but Streamlit has made it simple for us within this simple disk. So thank you for watching, and then keep going to GitHub and give Streamlit more stars. See you another time. Stay blessed. Bye.